morning. Welcome back to today's video, guys. We're going to be doing an unboxing video for the new Hulk Goat V2. Let's get this thing out of the box and check out what it looks like. Holy. Now, this is not what we're used to seeing. The bikes are typically not built in cages, but since this is such a heavy duty bike, they wanted an extra layer of protection. So we have this cage around it. All we need is, it looks like a 5mm Allen key, and we're just going to remove all these bolts attaching the cage, and then we can remove the cage. All right, after removing about 10 of the bolts with a 5mm Allen key, we'll be left with this after we remove the cage. So let's go ahead and use our scissors and undo all this wrapping. Now that we have all the packaging taken off, we have these two boxes. This bigger box is going to contain our charger, so we can set that aside, get that ready for charging. And in here, it looks like we just have some rear view mirrors, which will be nice. We will install those after we get the handlebars all taken care of. Also included, we have this backrest. It's going to attach right here. Should be a nice addition, especially if you're carrying any passengers, so this will be great. Out of the box, we have the handlebars dismantled from the bike, so we're going to need to install these properly. We're also going to install this new generation display that we have upgraded on this bike. It looks pretty good. All the components that we're going to need and all the hardware is going to be inside of our little storage container, so you'll take the key off the handlebars, remove the storage container, and boom, here's everything we need, including the extra keys and the hardware that is provided. Now, after we take this out of our hardware bag, we are going to install it. This is going to be the bracket for the handlebars. Now, before we install that, the display will be integrated with this. So let's just line up those holes and then fasten them down. Be careful not to cross thread. So I like to start everything by hand. All right, once we evenly tighten these down, we can go ahead and get them nice and snug. If you don't want to use the tool provided, it is just a regular number 6 Allen key. Now that we have the handlebars installed, we can give it a little test. We just want to give it a little bit of a push up and down. We don't want this to be moving up and down at all. So that feels good and sturdy. So let's go ahead and install our turn signals. They're already right here, super easy, ready to install. This thing is about 90% pre-assembled, so should be pretty simple. Now for the horn, we have these little plugs right here that you're probably not used to, but it is super simple. We have our positive and we have our negative. The red positive is gonna go on the top, and the negative is gonna go on the bottom. Now that we have the handlebars installed, we can open up our little battery compartment and plug in the battery. Check out these huge plugs, so just be careful when you're doing it. There we go. Once we have that plugged in, we can just tuck it back inside and put the compartment back on. Here with the rear blinkers, super easy to install again, but we will make sure we're doing the right ones. So left, see this is on the right, so we need to switch that. Cool. Before we install it, left will go on the left side. Perfect. Now for the rear backrest, super easy. It's going to be 2 number 6s again. Let's just loosen them up, and then we can reattach them with the backrest. Tighten those up until snug, and you're all set to go. It looks like last but not least, all we have is our rear view mirrors to install. Those will be really easy. The brackets are already pre-installed on the bike. All we need to do is loosen these back and then just twist these on. All right, once we have the rear view mirrors installed, we'll just put these caps over them, and you can maneuver them however you'd like. You know, the mirror is adjustable. And if you want to move them, you can just loosen these up. Don't remove them, but loosen them up, and then you can slide it around. It is integrated with the brake lever. Now that we have the Hulk all assembled, you can see it looks a little bit different from the Hulk V1. First off, it looks amazing. It looks a lot cooler in my opinion, but we have a few little upgrades. We have an upgraded bigger display with more integration in it, and there's gonna be more settings to mess around with. We have upgraded brakes, much better than the previous model. These are full-on moto brakes. This bike does not mess around. Up here, we have a brand new suspension fork, along with the rear shock in the back, slightly upgraded, so it should give you a smoother ride than the V1, along with some new rims, front and rear. And just the cherry on top, we have a nice new upgraded, super sturdy and durable kickstand that will not break when you lay it down on it. All right, now that the bike is all assembled and ready to go, we are going to use some bolt cutters and remove these ties. Before we undo all of them, we will want to make sure that the kickstand is down or you have somebody holding the bike. Before we take it for our ride, cutting it is not enough. We want to make sure that we remove this from the bike completely. So whatever you have to do to remove that. Now that we have the bike ready to ride, we have a few safety inspection requirements needed before we take it for a spin. We want to make sure that the brakes are feeling good, so maybe roll it back and forth, make sure they're nice and tight. Really give it a good shake, make sure the handlebars aren't going anywhere, and make sure that all of your turn signals and your lights work, as well as your horn. All right, now we're ready to ride. Here's the procedure. Kickstand up, hold the plus button to remove it from park. And now we're ready to go. Beast. This thing is awesome, guys. It's super fun to ride. Goes pretty fast. I was only in the parking lot. I already hit 30 miles an hour. Excited to see what this thing can do on the road. If you want a piece of this bike, check it out on the website. We have them available right now and in stock. Also, if you have any questions or concerns, reach out to Goat Power Bikes directly or myself, Alex, at Mobile Bike Repair in North County. This bike is super fun. I'm excited to see you guys riding it, and let us know if you have any questions below.